Don't tell me. I was muted. I know. Good morning, guys. Hello. All right. I haven't even started Morrowind. I know, but I made coffee. I have priorities, okay? Coffee, then make Morrowind. It's like in an airplane crash. You should put the mask on the children, on yourself first, then the children. Kind of similar. I need to make coffee first, then play Morrowind. That's the way it is. I've seen Prof. Hello, Becca is there, Soccer Cat is there, and Potato Masher Annie. Hello.
I'm a god.
And
how can you kill a god? What a grand and intoxicating innocence. I'm a god. How can you kill a god? Shame on you.
Null Cascade.
I really hope you're singing along, guys. You go right there. Here we go. Yeah, you'll work on the blub. I'm not saying anything, no, nothing at all. So I might have mentioned it at some point. Okay, you're dancing a bit in your chair. That is good. For me, the few times when I hear the Daggers waves without, null cascade triggering it, I'm like I'm waiting for the null cascade. And it never happens. Like the original Daggers wave just doesn't do it for me anymore. I need the null cascade in my Daggers wave. That's the way it is. Okay, all right. I think I'm just gonna launch the game. Okay, now fine. Let's just give that a quick. Where were we though? We were in Kudanat. Now I haven't done too much with the install. Two things only. I've updated in a rush Ashfall, but I have. It's done. Good for the worship. Worship null cascade, please. In fact, any modder that comes in there, worship them so they keep modding. And Gaida, thank you so much for the host. No problem, says Morrowind. I'm gonna start the game and we'll see if there is no problem. How are you doing, Geiger? I thought in that analogy we were the children. I suppose it's like a drawer thing. First, I need to have coffee so that I can play Morrowind, and Morrowind has to be played so that you can survive and have your daily dose of Morrowind, I guess. Yes, worship Danaebot as well. Danaebot is quite finicky. I think Danaebot might be female, and sometimes she just goes, no, it's not gonna work. And you don't know why. And you can't give it coffee. Like me, you give me coffee and I'm good. But Danaebot, it just doesn't work like that. So, yeah. I have to talk to Arel. I need a couple of updates for tomorrow. By the way, do you all know what is happening tomorrow? I'm waiting for your answer in the chat because it's really important. Good night. It's after 12 a.m. in the middle of the night. Oh, Geiger, that is... I don't know how you guys can stay up. I got too old. I got myself into that nice little schedule, and past midnight I'm like, there's nothing that can keep me awake. Maybe Morrowind. Okay, that's an exception. That is an exception. But other than that, I just fall asleep. And if for some miraculous reason I stay up because of something, then I won't fall asleep until much later. So I don't want to miss it. That was how I need to sleep. Next talk. There's an animated version of this. Yes, very true. Why do I have this one here? I don't know. Like when I made the Geob install, I just wanted something different, so I took this one. The mysteries of the mind. It is Icro. It is the Mod Jam announcement thingy. Tomorrow, that's 11 in the evening my time, so that would be 10 GMT, which is I think the same as 10 UTC. Okay, I don't know all the equivalents, but anyway, if you look on my Twitch channel, the schedule, it is there. It's gonna show in your local time. If you look on the Morrowind modding community Discord, it is there. It's gonna show in your local time. It's also in my Discord, but I'm guessing, if you're in the Morrowind modding community and if you're here, you don't need to have the information 3 times. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I should load the game while I talk. I want the one where I am in Kudanat, because this is something I was testing yesterday. I'll tell you about the mod I added. in a short while. So tomorrow the mod jam. Yes, that's fine. Tomorrow the mod jam, we are going to discover what is the theme for the mod jam. In fact, we're going to do one last round of voting. So the theme will be decided during the stream. Dark Elf Guy will be there, so we get to talk to him, which is pretty cool. We'll find out who the judges are. In fact, if you can guess who the judges are, then I'll tell you who they are. If you cannot, you'll never know. It is a rare treat. It's a super rare treat. Like, we're used to watching the videos, the occasional message on Discord, but I think it's a whole different thing. It's a different thing, and it's nice. I'm super hyped. Yeah, Jube is super pleased to see us. Yes, I will train you, Jube. You just have to stay alive. Okay, I'm posing you now because I'm talking. I'm gonna reduce the music. No, that's not there. There we go. There we go. I have not installed Muse on this one. And so the music just plays whatever it wants. Which feels weird when you're used to having your music customized and everything. Judge guesstimate. MD, Merlord, Dark Elf Guy, you're right. You're right that in fact, I'm not sure that Dark Elf Guy will be judging himself because he's got a lot on his plate. And there are... You mean how many judges that have sent me their little blurb as I asked? Oh, darn, I mentioned it. Why did I? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 judges. But then again, you never know. They might not have time to judge everything. They might decide that the theme is so exciting, like Daedra, and do feel bad. I mean, why don't you feel bad? I do feel bad. I mean, don't, but whatever makes you feel bad, change it. That's you know, the rooster as it is. Then in reality it's gonna be fewer people, but I'm counting on all of them, every single one of them. Anyway, so that is the mod jam thingy. It's happening tomorrow. If you can join the live stream, it really should be fun, like a really fun thing to do. Spending time with fellow modders. I really feel, I mean, you're here, that you know how it feels to be on Twitch or on YouTube. There's also a couple of people on YouTube. You know how it feels. It's pretty cool. It's a different thing than sending messages back and forth on Discord, really. So that would be cool. And of course, during the weekend, you make a mod. And I see that my memory is already like off. Okay, we'll see. So that was the announcement. Do you think we can go back to? I'm a little worried. Okay, back off. There's another one in there, and I'm not in a good shape to fight. Did I miss anything about the mod jam? Did you have any sort of questions? Now I feel like a teacher. All right. Any questions before we move on to the practical exercises? And while you think about that, I'm gonna restore my... No, I restored nothing. Will this be on the final? Define this. That? Tube? You bet. You bet. Sample questions. I don't want to spoil it, but sample questions will be: how many times did I die? Did you die more often than I did? How many times did the game crash? There. I don't want to spoil it, but that being said, tomorrow during the live stream we have some little games to play. Yes. Except, I mean, I always do that, right? Once I've had an installation for, I make a fresh install and it's perfect, no warnings, beautiful. And then I play with it a little bit and I find a few conflicts that, you know, while installing they didn't really show, and I fix those. And then for a while, it's the perfect Morrowind installation at that moment in time. And then there's new mods coming and I resist for a little bit, say, not gonna touch that install. And then after a few months I go, oh, but I have to put that, and I have to put that, and I have to update that. But it's okay, because I like making fresh installs. So this one, it's been going for a while. It's been modified quite a bit, especially trying to get less memory usage. So it's not the most stable one, and it's my fault, okay? Don't blame Todd. I did this. I did this to my Morrowind install. In the meanwhile, how do I restore a little bit? I think I'm gonna have to get out of here. I can't see, that sucks. I have one... Look at that. One spell point. I have one chance to cast my light. Too bad. So we are slowly retreating in the dark. Not in the water, not in the water. Where's the light? We come from here. There. Go towards the light. I got it. We're good, we're good. No, that's a wall. Next light. Door. There's still one NPC in there. You have headless NPCs? No. I mean, do you? I'm pretty sure we fixed that. We talked about that. Your NPCs are good, right? No, lol. Okay, good. I did make my... Okay, and I was quick, wasn't I? I blame Todd wholeheartedly because everything will probably trace back to him at some point. I don't know. Where did I do that? High take. I love technology. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. This is my list of things that I need to fix for friends and foes. It's so tiny. Which is good. It's really good. All right. Let's load that game. Just give companion voices. That's it. If only there was a place you could send crash jobs to help improve game stability. But that was not a crash, that was my memory usage. And I don't... Here's the thing now. What? Who? There's people... Oh crap, there's Outlaw just outside. Oh shit. That was a lot of usage. That really was, wasn't it? Like, I know Symphony takes a lot. But I don't know. I don't know. Is there a way to run a diagnosis on no, there's no way. I can find out. Oh shit. Geob, run with me, Geob. Run. Run, I say. I think there's a guard. Crap, I was going out of the cave for, you know, safety. No, you will not end anything. God, do something. And my memory again, going up crazy. Like, what sort of mods would be sewed and rats? Okay. I'm just running. Shit. Yeah, the guards just don't care. So yeah, what sort of mod would make the memory usage that drastic? On the one hand, Symphony, because a lot of poly and HD, so okay. Beyond that, do you think gameplay and Lua mods would do something? I know about that. It's actually fixed on the version that I've released on the Nexus, doesn't have that anymore. How much do I
we've been
need
expecting you.
to bribe you to add campaign bag? Oh crap, which one did I load? Welcome on in, by the way, and thank you so much for the follow. Did you enjoy you did without? It's a good question. Guys, you remember how we do this? Shit, yeah, I'm back exactly where I started. Come on, Jube. No, Jube, we're running away. It's just one outlaw. And one cliff racer, but I'm nearly dead. No, Jube, you don't end anything. The guard, where are the guards? Here are the guards. Okay. I'm going to answer all of your questions, guys. I just need to run to safety. Okay, I think. No, that's cool, Jew. That's cool. The guards don't care, but the outlaw is not following me. And the rats are going in the opposite direction. We're good. The moon's a line, yeah, with 2 gods to worship. We need a third modding god here in the chat, and then we'll have our own tribunal. Clearly, the memory usage goes up. Thank you for that, Merlord. Clearly, the memory usage goes up as we go to new cells. That's pretty obvious. And we're safe for a little bit, I think. And now I can finally pause and look at the chat.
Under sun
All
and
right.
sky.
Reasonable prices
Okay.
and top quality magic.
We're good, you. All right. Shimron, you were the follow. Thank you for that. Welcome on in. Lovely to see you. Yes, I'm not sure when I last ran Distant Land. And if the last time I did it, I just say just. Oh, you're right. I did add Thaddeus Foods of Tamriel because it adds a few buildings outside. And I was like, just go and do it. So that's definitely could be something. Ring Comics, you were asking how much you need to bribe me for camping. I'm sorry, it's out. There's nothing I can do. Popular vote. So, but then, like, I don't know how many people really want. I mean, it's been voted. Quite a few people voted for camping, so clearly they wanted it, and quite a few people still want Daedra. So, yeah, the amount of memory is not really consistent. Clearly, I noticed, especially if I run quickly through cells, I can see that the memory usage goes up when I visit many cells rapidly, in particular. But otherwise, I don't know. And the mod that adds, I'm going to show you directly. That adds the health bars. I think it's called companion health bars or something like that. Something that simple. Here's my display. Okay, I cannot type to save my life, you know that. There we go. That's the one. There's an issue with Gamebryo. I remember crashing Fallout New Vegas by running wild on drugs. Are you sure it was not the drugs? It's absolutely necessary. I mean, I like to have companions because, okay, they're buggy, they're broken sometimes, they're stupid, you can't really control them or anything, but they inject some unexpected in the game, and for me, I absolutely love that because it tells a story, right? And even if you don't have companions, just keeping track of your followers, obviously seeing their health is good, but also the moment you've lost them because you run too quickly or something, you're not going to see the health bar anymore. So that's also a warning that you've been running a little too fast, or you've been going through doors a little too quickly and you've lost them. So for me, that's absolutely essential, even if you don't like to have companions. That's my 2 cents. The drug made me run fast. Moon sugar's a hell of a drug. So I've heard. I don't know. Don't no moon sugar. Don't do that. Okay, so that was the one. Merlord, just ping me when, okay? I don't know if you've had your dinner already. Just send me your modlist spreadsheet, and now with my hello. Someone send me your oh, someone send me. Okay. All right. Just give me a second, guys. I have a little something I need to prepare. Just sit tight. And I'm going to mute myself for a second again, but I'm still here, okay? Don't panic, people. I'm still here. All right, guys, I'm back. I am back, but I am not alone. Up. Who wants to guess who's here with us to talk? Oh no, how did you know? Close enough. Okay, reveal yourself. You've been discovered.
Hi everyone, yeah, it's Merlord here.
Alright, before we move on, can you hear Merlord properly? I might be a little louder than him. And Vargas, welcome back, by the way. Can you hear Merlord properly? Howdy and yes, that sounds excellent. Well, I'm going to let Giub and Giub, recover while Merlord tells us what's going on. What mod, what game, or...
Yeah, I don't have anything planned. You're gonna have to ask me questions. I'm not as talkative as Zero was last time.
What is your number one modding project that you're motivated to work on right now?
Right now is the Bardic Inspiration lure upgrade that I've been working on. It's sort of been my main project at the moment.
I was really hoping you'd say that.
It's pretty much done actually. The only issue that's left is the animation file I'm using doesn't work on beast races.
The Argonian, right?
Yeah, they do that Michael Jackson moonwalk looking thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I want to spend the time to learn how to make animations and create a beast race one, or just not play the animation for beast races and use the default, the way it used to be, where they just hold the loop. I might just do that.
I mean, at least at first do that, so everyone can play the mod, and then if someone, I don't know, Greatness is possibly one of the best people we have to animate right now. And Vidi, it was Vidi that made the animations for Ashfall.
Yeah, he did. He made the sitting mod, and I borrowed some the sitting animations from that.
So there are two potential modders. All right. Well, I think of another question for you. Chat, feel free to ask your questions. If they're very stupid, they will be ignored. You've been warned.
Oh, I like answering stupid questions.
Okay, no, go ahead. Go ahead, chat. Silly questions, go. They're not that easy to come up with, actually.
Reasonable prices
I find.
for top quality magic.
Here's one for you. Do you have eyes? Do you have eyes on the chat?
Yeah, I can see the chat.
Brilliant.
Is this question stupid enough to be ignored? It is stupid enough for me to answer.
There,
so, yes.
done. Well done, well done.
Good day.
But
Easy one.
going back, it is, right? Oh, crap. I don't think we'll be discussing mods anymore. You opened the gate to hell. And I thought Cliff raises Crease as a wake-up alarm.
Oh yeah, I have the Cliffy command.
I'm sure
for my
we
wake
can
up
work
alarm,
out
yeah.
a fair price.
Wouldn't that be amazing? I'm going to reduce the sound in my game as well, because the spell effects tend to be quite loud.
I'm still really looking forward to your custom summon a Cliff Racer in the stream command.
So am I, but I can't do it. And Audel has already worked out how to have a command in the chat, do something in the game.
The sun and moon
But then, it needs to
transform
be
days
fully
to
implemented. But there's so many things that I ask him to do for me. So it's a bit like you. Like I keep asking you, what about that mod? What about that mod? Can you look at that script? But I can't ask you
Yeah.
for everything all the time. So I need to pace myself. So we will
Well-
have that eventually, sure.
You could also get him to share his knowledge with the rest of us so we could help write some commands.
That also, however, he can code in many different languages, but Axe, the language is French, Haxe, is his favorite, and it's not really what other people use. So I'm guessing that collaborating would be trickier as well. We have more questions in the chat, some of them silly. And you were saying, sorry, I interrupted you.
I was just going to say, I did have a look at that hex. Oh, yeah, how do you pronounce it?
Well, the guy who invented it, Nicolas, is French, so I'm sure in his mind it's Axe, because there's no H in French.
Right.
We just don't say them.
Yeah.
But ever since Aurel has discovered it, he says Haxe. So I say Haxe as well, but
Oh, okay. So it's up to you. How do you pronounce it?
pretty much.
Yeah, I was saying I did check out that hex language, and it's pretty cool. Seems really interesting how you can compile it into any other language.
Strangest book I've
quite
ever
interesting.
read.
All right, so what's the next question we got?
Do mud crabs make good sushi?
Non-silly. I have no idea. I'm not actually a good cook, even though I write cooking mechanics in games.
And I was trusting you with Ashfall that, my stew would always be tasty or delicious or chunky. And now I've been feeding my characters and my companion, I don't know with what.
Well, I can't cook, but I can code, so that stew
Close
was
enough.
made with my code, so it must be good.
Close enough, definitely. What did we have? I saw some good modding questions.
What's one part of Morrowind you'd love to modify but can't? There isn't really, because with MWSE, we can literally modify any part of the game. Yeah.
Merlord, see what you do. You should say, oh, there's this and this and this, and now you've just told everyone, the whole internet, that anything they want in their game, you can do it.
Yeah, well, that's okay, because I find it very easy to say no. So people can request as much as they want. Or to say, yep, yeah, sure, totally. At some point.
Good, good.
Put it on the list of 500 things I have to do.
I feel truly honored that you've actually fulfilled so many of my requests.
Book I've ever read.
I'm not kidding. I'm saying that with a smile because I'm happy, but really. Okay, we're fixed.
I'm sure we can work
Um,
out
Yeah, well,
a
you
fair price.
you
Yes.
show off my mods on stream, so it's a win-win.
I guess. And I'm not doing the mod showcases anymore. They take too much time. I don't know how Dark F Guy can keep pushing. Like even the shorter ones, they take so much time. So I'm happy playing and discovering the mods, but making showcases. The only one I did was Bardic Inspiration actually.
Good day.
Way back
Let's
when.
do business.
Yeah, I still remember that. That was my first ever mod, and I was brand new to the community. And then someone went and made a video on my mod. It was super exciting. Felt like I was a real modder finally. You know?
Yeah, like me when I saw a Bard mod, I was like, oh, must play. And yeah. All right, let's catch up with the chat. We're just chatting like they're not there. That's so rude. So part of Morrowind you'd love to modify but can't. None. Everything can be done. We have some example of why are you shaking me? Well, GWC, my Barta was 60. Okay. Baka, I haven't gotten to talk to Trainwiz in a while. Or I would have told him about this channel. Then he would have all the cliff races and Dwemer trains. Yeah, like Trainwiz, I only keep in touch with his progress on Twitter. Occasionally he pops up in the Morrowind Discord. But yes, I'm guessing we would need more cliff racers and trains to lure him in the channel. There's a question about Valheim from Null. You want to take that one?
Let's see, what did he ask?
Reasonable
Now that
prices for
Valheim has had
top-quality
time
magic.
to settle, how much of it do you plan on stealing for Ashfall?
I am planning on stealing the comfort mechanics from Valheim. So I thought that was really cool. So the idea would be you could purchase like pillows and rugs and stuff like that. And if you place it near your bedroll or near a bed, it will bestow a well-rested buff on your player when you sleep.
Nice.
And
Obviously,
it's-
there
yeah.
will be compatibility with body pillows.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I think it's a really cool mechanic in Valheim, and it's something that's I think would fit very well with Ashfall. It's very, very something that could definitely be done in MWSE. So, yeah.
I remember a long time ago we talked about pillows.
Yeah, and one reason I really want to do it is because I've always wanted more reason to kind of decorate and set up more things in your campsite, you know? So like having more than just set up a tent, you know? So having a comfort system will give you more reason to actually decorate and create a more elaborate campsite.
Definitely. There's already quite a few screenshots of people showing up their campsite with the lantern, the book, the plate, the food, the guar, obviously. But yeah, the more elements we get, the better.
You will suffer.
Sorry,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
killing a
it's-
click racer.
Yeah, I think that's the only major mechanic in Valheim that I would want to add. Like most of the mechanics, Ashfall has an equivalent of already, you know.
Yeah. Okay, looking forward to that. No pressure, obviously. When is your 64-bit Morrowind.exe coming out? Is that what you were talking about in the MWSC channel? What did you call it? Tribe Unity? Something like that?
Oh yeah, so that was a project that Null and Greatness and I and a couple of others came up with like a year or so, maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, that's
Basically
old.
planning to remake all of Morrowind in Unity. It's kind of a meme project. I don't think it's ever going to get off the ground, but I have been learning Unity and I've been, you know, trying things out. And some people have kind of started on that already. There's a couple of projects on GitHub of parts of Morrowind that runs in Unity now.
Okay, that'd be
Lines of code
definitely...
written zero, passion infinite. It's the best kind of project.
Yeah. Well, it would definitely be a massive endeavor. I've got something funny happening in my game. I don't seem to be able to activate anything. So that's odd. My key has not been changed. No one exists in my game. What did I do? Cube did it. Any reasons for using Unity over UE4? Also, does Morrowind allow animations? I think even vanilla Morrowind would have animation. They're just really horrible to make, I think. Is this compatible with open? Okay. Merlord, I'll let you pick the questions you want to answer.
Sure. So does MWC allow animations? It does. It's a little bit clunky at the moment. You basically just replace the animation file of the player and then pick what idle it wants to play. So so yeah, you can definitely run arbitrary animations, but it's a little bit clunky. And any reason to use Unity over Unreal Engine 4? I don't know. I think they're both pretty good engines. Unity tends to have better, like it's got way more stuff like the asset store and everything. It's more well supported. So yeah, either one would have worked just fine.
El Gran Gato Mafioso, welcome on in from all the way from Argentina. Rideable horses, which makes me think of rideable guars. Is that a 2090 project?
Well, actually, Greatness 7 was going to do that for me. He actually said he was going to make animated rideable guars for the Guar Whisperer.
Nice. I didn't know that. Now I have, one more person to add to my PM rooster to say, hey.
You need to hit him up on that. Because
Yeah.
he said he would do it, and then, you know how things happen, and he's got other projects going on. I haven't forgotten.
Obviously. All right, looking forward to that. Unity is more friendly with older titles. I wouldn't know. And a bigger developer base for Unity, more people interested in it. Well, in that case, it sounds like, yes, I can talk to people and pick things up. Okay, good. I've just fixed Morrowind, guys. What about Ash?
Yeah, Ash stands for Ashfall Survival Hardcore. This is a huge, huge total conversion overhaul mod that is being worked on by me,
Under sun and sky.
Judius, Qualia, Indoran, and a couple of others. And the basic idea is that if you've ever played Frost or Dust, so those are two mods for, one of them's for New Vegas and the other one is for Fallout 4. And they're basically like super hardcore survival mods where all the NPCs are gone and there's radiation storms and everything, and it's just really like dystopian hardcore kind of survival. So we're planning on bringing that to Morrowind by turning all the NPCs into either corpus beasts or ash creatures under the pretense of Dagoth Ur 1, the Nerevarine failed. This is a few years later, and now you've arrived on the island, having been taken over by Dagoth Ur. So it'll be, yeah, hardcore survival.
The only goal is to survive.
Exactly. There will be a sort of main quest. We haven't really nailed it down yet, but it's probably going to involve curing yourself of Corpus, because of course you'd have Corpus if you're on Vattenfell and Dagoth Ur has got his blight everywhere. Curing yourself of Corpus and then escaping the island. So it's not a save the world situation, it's a save yourself.
Save yourself,
situation.
Like that. Whew. And I survived that fight, I'm glad. That sounds super exciting. Is there going to be a built-in permadeath thing, or it's not that hardcore?
That's an interesting question. We haven't talked about permadeath with this mod before. It is a good idea. I have to think about it.
I'm guessing it's not something that would please everyone, so might be better off as optional.
Yeah, maybe. Although if you're playing a mod like this, you're asking for, hardcore mechanics, so...
Have a good night, Argos. Thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, it's designed to work alongside...
To work along what?
The idea of the mod came about from, what if we created a more desolate kind of world to make Ashfall more difficult,
Yeah, because right now it's a walk in the park.
Yeah, exactly.
Very exciting. I'm guessing there's no ETA on that because it's just started.
No, the final project is going to take a long time. We do plan on releasing a playable alpha quite soon, because the core of the mod basically is remove all the NPCs, replace them with corpus monsters. Like, you do that and you've done a whole lot of the work already. And I've already written a script that does that, so we're kind of halfway there in terms of having a somewhat playable proof of concept. So we're going to try and put that together and have an alpha out in a week or so, hopefully.
That's not a lot of people working on it right now. It's like five, six of you.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a lot to me because I don't collaborate very often. So it sounds
well,
like
apart from the
huge group of
madness,
people.
apart from the modding madness.
Yeah, that's true. But there's max of 4 people, right? So
Yeah.
I'm already over that.
5 actually last year. I mean this year. We were 5,
Oh, yeah,
right?
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So do you need any more help with Ash? Like, are you looking for people who could do maybe, I'm thinking dialogues of the people you mentioned? I didn't hear dialogue
Yeah, absolutely.
experts.
So dialogue is not going to be much of an issue because all the NPCs are dead.
Yeah.
So
It's just
it's
gonna be some
yeah, I mean there will be a little bit of dialogue, but I don't think that's, I mean it's really not the focus of the mod, so it's sort of the last thing we need. But anyone else who wants to help out absolutely should get in touch, because I expect this to be a very long running collaborative mod with input from as many people as possible.
Okay, you heard him. You heard him. Matthew, hey, welcome back. Never awake and drunk on spicy chips and Queso to catch that in the live stream. And today you made it. Congratulations. Icro, would there be a way to use a mod like cosmetic overrides to say at least be able to play Beast Race with full helm without clipping? That one is for you, Merlord. Go for it. The chat is so pleased that finally they can have deep modding questions and get some actual answers.
I think you could have full helms with no clipping, but only if the full helm was like fully face covering and didn't like show the eyes or anything, because you'd have to get rid of the head mesh completely to avoid the clipping. So it would only work with certain full helms, I think.
Yeah, so we would take a remodel of vanilla helms and it would be quite a big endeavor.
Yeah, I'm not sure if vanilla helms get rid of the head mesh or not. I know there's some mods that add the head mesh back in so that you can see the eyes through the full helm, but I'm not sure if there are any vanilla full helms that do the same. So it might be possible with vanilla helms.
That's a start. That is a start. A question from Rain Comics. Merlord, which of your older mods do you want to see remade, or are you satisfied with all of them? I think I know the answer.
Well, I've been slowly remaking a lot of my older mods anyway, and the ones that I haven't remade yet, you've pestered me about to remake anyway. I think probably the main one I would like to remake that I haven't started on already is what's it called? The Brewmaster. So Brewmaster was a mod that I made way back when I first started modding, and it shows. Where you could...
Come on, it does what it say on the tin. It's not lure. It doesn't have the sexy lure tag, but you make booze. I like it.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, so you purchase a brewing station, and you place it down and you activate it, and you can turn ingredients into booze. Yeah, I would like to remake that with a real brewing station model, because the model that I
script.
Yeah, and real scripting
sorry,
too.
Not script. Sorry, that's not what I wanted to say. It's already a real scripting. Morrowind script is real script. Come on.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure about that. I mean, skill. That's what I wanted. Skill.
Oh, right, a brewing skill. Yeah, that'd be good too. But yeah, so when I first made it, I had never used Blender or anything, so I made my brewing station by sticking a retort out of a caniculator, or whatever it's called. So it's just a horribly kit-bashed thing. And the script, with Morrowind script, you don't have any switch cases, you don't have any variables. So if you have, and I wanted, like, even back then, I wanted to make sure that it actually worked properly. And in my mind, if you activate something and it shows you a list of things you can brew, you should have the ingredients for all those things. So I needed to make a separate menu for every combination of drinks that you could have ingredients for, which grows exponentially the more drinks you create. So if you've got 4 drinks and you've got ingredients for 1, you have to code a menu for that. And then if you've got ingredients for 2 of them, or just the last one, So the script is gigantic. It's a gigantic series of if loops. And the if loops, there were so many of them that it actually caused a Stack Overflow when I first made it, because it nested too deeply. So I had to split it up into 2 different scripts.
There
Horrible.
is a limit to how many if you can embed in a code. With
Right,
Morrowind,
and
I don't remember what it is, but there is.
Yeah, I think it's like 16 maybe. And I easily passed that. And that exact same functionality can be done in a single if loop, or a single, function call in Lua. So it'd be, a million times easier to do in Lua.
Good. Looking forward to that. Not immediately. Okay, no pressure. Because
Well, it's on the list
I was saying
after the other
about
mods.
having to pace myself with my requests. Right now, my request is a special mod jam trophy hunt. So
Yeah, I still have to finish that. That's my job tonight.
I don't know how you and Noel still come to my chat every once in a while. Every time you come, I'm there. How about that? So really appreciate that. Despite the risks, you still come and say hello. But yeah, Brewmaster I like, and your immersive alcohol. I did look at the script, also Morrowind script, and it's actually massive. Like, it looks like it's a simple thing. Like, you drink alcohol, you're drunk. Duh.
Come try ya!
Hey, Marks. But the script was massive, because you took into account so many variables. Yes, we were like,
I can't remember
you
what
decided
any of script
that mead was stronger than beer. Like you made different strength of alcohol, which is great. Like, it's more realistic, and like there were. It was just too much for me. Okay,
It's all coming back to me now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had like tables of, if you drink this kind of alcohol, it's got this amount of drunkenness, and then you've got different states of drunkenness. So if your drunkenness is over 20 but less than 30, you're tipsy.
Exactly.
Yeah, and again, it's because I was already a programmer, and what I was doing is really easy to do in any normal language. Any programming language, all of those mechanics would be a pretty small script. But in Morrowind script, it's just the most basic functionality. You end up writing hundreds of lines of code to implement.
So I guess we're just waiting for a Lua rewrite.
Of immersive alcohol, yes, I have it kind of working. And it reminds me every time I start a new game, it tells me I'm sober, so it's reminding me that I need to finish it.
I like that. It's like you have your built-in Danae nagging you. Love it. I saw a couple of really good questions. What's your favorite aspect of Morrowind, and what parts of it do you most want to enhance and improve through mods?
My favorite aspect of Morrowind has got to be the world itself. Just the environments and the visuals, and I mean, Morrowind is already one of the most immersive games out there, I think. And it's something about the world that you're in, even though it's designed to make you feel like an outsider. So it should be the opposite of immersive, because you're treated like you don't belong there. But still, you go in there and you really feel like it's a real world, and that's what I have been focusing on improving, is that the immersion of the world. And that's why so many of my mods focus on bringing functionality to stuff that's already there, like it's already full of lots of trees, so let's make it so that you can chop trees. I don't have to add anything to the game. I'm just bringing functionality to get to what's already there. Same with bottles. Like, how many games have bottles that you can pick up that are scattered throughout the whole world, that don't actually, bottles in vanilla Morrowind don't serve any purpose other than the immersion of being able to pick up a bottle. And that's a detail that games in the future modern games don't bother with that anymore. It'll be some set piece you can't pick up, or it has to have some specific functionality. But in Morrowind, they're just there. And so I enhanced that by adding the ability to fill them with water, because they're already there. And what I really like about inserting functionality into existing objects is that I get to benefit from the logic of the world without having to think about that myself. Like, I don't have to worry about where you would find bottles, you know? Like, if I were to implement it like other survival mods do, where, you know, you add water skins or special objects to the game, I would have to go through all this effort of designing, like, okay, so bottles would be inside taverns and all this kind of thing.
Yeah,
But in
that's
Morrowind,
done.
the designers of the game already did that, and they created this world where everything is where you'd expect it to be. So it adds kind of immersion and functionality to my mod by the mere fact that, you know, if you're thirsty, you go to a tavern, right? And in Morrowind, if you're thirsty, where are you going to find water and bottles and whatnot? You'll find them in a tavern. And I didn't have to code
Sewers
that.
work.
It just happened. Yeah, sewers work as well, but it'll be dirty water, you know.
Yeah, that's and same thing with the camping or the fires. They're everywhere and they serve no purpose other than light and look like that's a place where people live.
Right.
Ovens. I'm not making a request, okay? I've used up my quota, but okay, good. Notes with understanding. Good. All right, that's super cool. I saw another question. Yes, they were discussing Python scripting for Morrowind, JavaScript support. Is that heresy? Is that dreams? Is that something desirable?
I suppose. I mean, Lua works really well for what we use it for. So if someone wants to go make an entirely new scripting framework with JavaScript, they can go ahead, but it seems kind of pointless when
Bit redundant.
we've got a language that works, you know, just fine.
Yeah. So it looks like that we're stuck with Lua, it seems. I need assembly support. What is that, Ring Comics? Also, I saw your line. You would murder to get MWSC mods working with open Morrowinds. Okay, we have 2 experts in the house. How realistic is it for any open Morrowind user to wait and hope for MWSC mods and Lua mods working on open Morrowind?
Well, MWSC mods and Lua mods are 2 different things, technically. The chances of MWSC mods working in open Morrowind is practically 0. The chance that you could get mods written in Lua working with open Morrowind is pretty high because they are working on a Lua scripting framework as we speak. And that has just, I think, just a few weeks ago, they released their first kind of proof of concept. Someone actually made a mod with the bare bones Lua framework that they've got. So they're making progress. Because of the way that MWSC works, which is the Lua functions hook into the Morrowind engine, and the Morrowind engine is, you know, it's unique, you know, it's very different from the open Morrowind engine, and it has a lot of quirks, and a lot of functions and a lot of MWSC mods are written to deal with those engine quirks. So you would not be able to...
I'm sorry, I like how you say quirks. It sounds like a very diplomatic word.
Yeah, that's a very nice way of putting it. Yeah, so MWSC mods are written to take those into account. And so you couldn't simply lift, I mean, like a mod like Ashfall, no way could you lift that and just plug it into a different Lua framework with open Morrowind. And it would take a lot of rewriting. And I don't know if all of the functionality could even work the way it currently does, because a lot of, like, I wrote Ashfall mechanics based on what I was able to do and what was easiest to do with the tools that I had. So if I were to write it with a different Lua framework, some of the features might end up looking different, you know? So I anticipate in the future, when Open Morrowind gets this Lua framework, we'll probably have a lot of MWSC mods rewritten for Open Morrowind. But it's not going to be a simple, you know, MWSC mods now work in Open Morrowind.
So the Lua, yes, but not the Lua mods we have currently. There would have to be new mods or rewrites of the mods we have.
Yeah. So to answer Ring Comics' question, would you rewrite Lua mods and add support if you knew the functionality was there? Yeah. If Open Morrowind had the capabilities that MWSE has, if I could make mods as easily and with the the functionality that I can in MWSE, then I would probably switch over to Open Morrowind. The thing keeping me on vanilla is the fact that I can make these amazing mods, which, like right now, I simply, could not make in Open Morrowind. Like Ashfall, people ask me, "Are you going to make Ashfall in Open Morrowind?" The answer is I already did. It's called Frostwind, and that's the best possible survival mod I could make with the functionality that Open Morrowind provides. Because I actually made it for Open Morrowind. I played Open Morrowind at the time.
You
That was
know
my
what?
engine of choice at
I
the
was
time.
looking at the Nexus. Was it I was looking at the comments. It was either immersive alcohol or brewmaster, and somebody asked a question. And you said, I don't have the, my memory is not great, but essentially you said that you use Open Morrowinds and you make mods for Open Morrowinds. And that made me smile because within a year, essentially you switched around because Lua offered you so many options.
I switched to Lua in MWSE literally the day that I released Frostwind. So what happened was I published Frostwind on the Nexus, and then that same day I discovered the Morrowind modding community Discord. I'd never been on there before, and I showed up and people were talking about Frostwind and just shitting on it. Saying,
No.
this is gonna be crap. Oh, survival mod, how stupid.
How stupid of them. No, there's no way.
But the thing is, they were, but I stuck around and I talked to people about it and, defended it, and people think, oh, well, actually, it might not be that bad. But then someone was like, why not make it in Open Morrowind Lua? You could do the same thing, but way quicker. And, and yeah, Nulla's right. He was very impressed that I did what I did purely with Morrowind script. But yes, and one of the first things people said to me, one person said, one of the complaints was, why Frostwind? Morrowind takes place on a volcano. Why would you need cold weather mechanics? Why not do hot weather mechanics? And you should call it Ashfall.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing, the word Ashfall. And I'm like, oh, okay. I've just spent 4 months working on this mod. And the same day I'm like, okay, I'll just make another one using this new script framework, and I'll add hot weather mechanics instead.
Yeah. I remember the discussion, like, why that name? It's so weird. I just want to, you saw that, okay, your words. It's about the brewmaster. I'm trying to find that post. No. I swear I did not dream that. I should have bookmarked it, taken a screenshot of it. There we go. No. Yes, that was the one. I tried to make my mods compatible with Open Morrowind. After that, the following day makes every mod that cannot work on Open Morrowind. So that one.
And I remember making that excuse too. I'm like, oh yeah, the Lua thing looks cool, but I really like to make my mods work, with both engines. And then the first time I tried Lua and realized how much easier it is to write mods. Nowadays, people make that claim in the Discord, they're like, oh, I don't want to get into MWSE because I like, making it compatible with Open Morrowind. And I'm just like, yeah, I remember thinking that too.
Yeah. I mean, hey, hang on. With Friends and Foes, I really wanted to be working with Open Morrowind. I am not kidding. It's not an excuse because anyway, I wouldn't be able to do anything with Lua myself. But I really wanted to work on both engines. Promise, it's not an excuse.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Like, I still, you know, I still maintain Frostwind mostly because for people on Open Morrowind, that they can't use Ashfall, and Frostwind is there for them to use. Um, and I even had specific settings in the mod that changes things slightly because Open Morrowind behaves a little bit differently. Like when I place campfire on the ground, Open Morrowind placed it like a little bit lower in the ground than vanilla did. So I created the setting like if you use Open Morrowind, then place it a little bit higher up in the ground when it's dropped.
Um, I guess does that have something to do with the fact that mods like MCA, they have a problem with also animated NPCs or NPCs that sort of sit lower than they would in vanilla engine. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, it might be. I'm not entirely sure how it differs or what is going on there, but it could be the same issue.
So yeah, I really did enjoy Frostwind. Okay, I need to take a second, honestly, between Ashfall, Frostwind, and what was the original one on Skyrim?
That was Frostfall.
Frostfall. Yeah, like
Yeah, I kind of regret naming these mods this way because now I have people saying, "Oh, I loved your mod Frostwind and I loved your previous Skyrim mod Frostfall," and I'm like, "No, no, that wasn't me.
it was
I
me.
don't want to take credit for someone else's mod. That was Chesco."
Yeah, but I mean that was bound to happen with names so similar, for sure. What was the? I forgot about MWSC. I tried to make mods compatible. Yes. Good to know. It makes your idea possible. Maybe I will have to. Yeah. That was what do you call that? Not a self-fulfilling prophecy, but there was a little bit of that. Fate. It was fate. Johnny Gamer, welcome back. Why are Open Morrowind devs so against working with devs like Null Cascade and the like to implement Lua? I don't think that's the case anymore. Like Null would be able to answer that better. I don't think that's the case anymore. I mean, they're working on Lua framework right now. So
Yeah, I don't think the Open Morrowind devs are against it. I think they had different priorities, you know, working towards the 1.0 release. You know, they wanted to get the game 100%, you know, finished before we're moving on to adding modding support. And yeah, so I don't think, you know, they're against working with us.
yeah, that's my understanding as well.
There has been a little bit of bad blood between Null and some of those Open Morrowind devs, but I think they're working past it.
That's good. That's good. Like I've said it before, but I really think Open Morrowind, or if Tribunity happens sooner, no pressure. But I really think that's the future of Morrowind, because at some point the vanilla engine is just not going to run at all on whatever next version of Windows we're gonna get.
Yeah, I agree. I think Open Morrowind is the only way forward in the long term. But I think what bothers MWSC modders sometimes is people come along and say you should use Open Morrowind because it's so much better. And
there's a little bit of that.
They get upset at us saying, no, like I'm a modder and I use the engine that lets me mod really good things. And it's just as a mod creator, there is simply no contest. MWSC compared to the current version of Open Morrowind is simply a million times better at making mods. Like you cannot make the kind of mods I make in MWSC in Open Morrowind.
Yeah, there's been a bit of Tribunity. It's liking energy. You need to like Tribunity. If I say Tribunity every stream, will it happen sooner? Because if that's the way I can contribute to it, I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah, definitely. it's a shame because open Morrowind with MG, GFX enhancement, and Lua would be awesome. I don't think that exactly can happen as such. I think, but I do agree with what you said, that there was a little bit of a, was it like a little bit like, this is how you should play the game. And we have that, you know, I hear what you say about some open Morrowind users saying, why don't you use it? You're stupid for not using it. Let's be honest, we do have a lot of people that say the same thing about mods, like, why do you use insert mod? It sucks, you should use other mod. And it might be that objectively the mod sucks. Like, a lot of people are still using the sound and graphic overhaul.
Yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of it is people see, you know, people see Null arguing with one of the open Morrowind devs, and they think, oh, there's this huge rift, you know. But we're programmers, and programmers have heated conversations about what the best practices are. And it's not really as antagonistic as it can come off sometimes. It's just programmers are passionate about, you know, what they think their best practices are.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Every time I say it like that, and it will get 10% bigger code base. Oh, wow. I'm going to record myself and I'm going to play it on loop. Good. I'm glad I can contribute. Delina, hey, lovely to see you again. We were talking about that indeed. Who is the Open Morrowind team? I mean, what are their stories? I don't know the lead devs, but if you go on their website or check their Open Morrowind YouTube, I'm sure you'll get all that. Or go to their Discord as well, of course. Oh, okay, Null, you don't need me anymore. Thank you, Null. You can take over. Already answered. Programmers love to argue about how best to trick rocks into doing math. Oh wow, that's advanced stuff. It's very advanced. But I get that, and I don't, like you said, like Open Morrowind had its roadmap and things that they planned to do, so it's fair that they did what they planned to do before adding another feature, even if it's a great one and a lot of people want it. There might have been a little bit of, we are creating the Morrowind engine of the future, and then some people come along and they make something that may very, very well be the Morrowind of the future. So there might have been a little bit of like, no, we are the most modern Morrowind ever. But eventually the two should get together. Crow, I should have gotten my degree in coding in lieu of pre-med. That went nowhere. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe both of them.
You don't need a degree in coding. You can learn coding online.
Exactly. Oh, there's a YouTube follow. I can't see who that is, but thank you for the follow on YouTube, whoever you are. I haven't heard that for a long time. That's the thing with coding. A lot of people just pick it up. And then it's just a matter of taking the time. It was Barack Obama? Wow. So how did you learn coding? Is that actually what you did as a... No, you told me. Go ahead. Tell us about your training.
My training.
Your training, yeah.
Yeah, I changed majors in university 4 times. I started off, I wanted to be an engineer, but then I switched to physics and failed physics. So I moved to biology, and then got bored of biology and moved to psychology, and then got a postgraduate diploma in psychology, and then realized there's no jobs in psychology either. So I changed again to a computer science graduate diploma, which was a 1-year course, and it was like a 3-year degree crammed into 1 year. And then so 1 year of computer science, and then into the job market as a software engineer.
Do you ever find that what you did with physics and biology and psychology like gives you an edge or comes into play when making mods, for example?
Forget tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so. Like psychology, is a big one because there's so much. Like psychology is a blanket term for like a dozen different fields of science, and one of those fields is called human factors, which is the science of making interfaces work with people, and that's how that the theoretical knowledge from that helps with designing good UIs and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the dearth of knowledge I gained from studying 5 different topics has helped quite a bit.
Definitely broaden the horizons. Noel also has different backgrounds. That's exactly what we wanted to know, Noel. You're not very specific about the nature shots, but I get you want to keep some privacy, so that's fine. And Ikra, that's okay. That's okay. I can ask those questions for you.
Good to see.
Just
Do you need my services?
just tell me what it is. Psychology in RPGs. Can I carry it and then hoard it? That's 101 psychology, isn't it? I am going to Aldrin. Sorry,
I
go
think
ahead.
psychology comes into play a lot in designing mechanics as well, because it helps you have a mindset of designing mechanics based on what players actually want out of a game. And it's not always obvious because you can't trust what users do in a game to judge what they really want, because sometimes if a game lets you pick up an item that gives you 1,000,000 strength and makes the game super easy, they're going to pick it up and they're going to ruin the game because everything is super easy for the rest of the game, and they'll get bored and they'll stop playing. But they're still going to pick up the item, you know? So you have to take that into account, and you have to think about what is actually fun for the player, regardless of what they are tempted to do in the game. And that kind of philosophy is what drove the mechanics behind Ashfall as well. So, you know, I designed it in a way that encourages immersive behavior, so that you find yourself doing those behaviors that you wouldn't normally do in the game. And even though you wouldn't normally do it, it is fun when you are kind of pushed into doing it, you know?
I totally get that, because like even permadeath, if I'm not streaming it and I say, okay, I'm gonna do a permadeath run, I'm gonna reload it, or worse, I'm going to use the console. I'm gonna cheese some skills that I wouldn't do when like the Twitch. Sorry, I was gonna say Twitch chat and that became twat. I'm so sorry, guys. But like Twitch chat is like a mod that prevents me from doing all kinds of things with my game, and when it's not there, like I know it's not how I want to play it, but it's there. It's a bit like the fast travel in Skyrim. A lot of people say, sorry, no. A lot of people say, oh no, fast travel ruins the game and the immersion and blah, blah, blah. But if there isn't a mod that makes it not work anymore, chances are you're going to use it. Maybe not as much, but you're still going to use it.
Yeah, I mean, we all have an instinctive urge to min-max, right? It's just ingrained in our minds. When we play a game, we want to maximize our benefit and minimize our burdens. And if the game mechanics encourage a certain behavior by, you know, if min-maxing will lead you to do one thing, then you're going to do it. And this is why Skyrim really failed so hard at being a role-playing game, because you start the game with all of your stats are completely identical to any other player. You're equally good at everything. And when you first start the game, shooting enemies while sneaking with a bow is objectively the best thing you can do in any given situation. So the only way you can play anything other than a stealth archer in Skyrim is by forcing yourself, going against your own instincts, to do something other than what's obviously the best thing to do. And, you know, a lot of RPG gamers, a lot of us older ones especially, we've learned and trained ourselves to be able to do that, but it takes willpower. And it's not it's not easy to do, and eventually you can give up and ruin the game for yourself by giving into that min-maxing. So yeah, it's a really good game design comes from basically like the way I try and design mechanics is I want the behavior that you do from min-maxing to be exactly the same behavior you do role-playing. There shouldn't be a difference between what you would do to min-max and what you would do to roleplay. So by creating mechanics that encourage certain behaviors, you can play the game and min-max and accidentally roleplay, you know? Like with Ashfall, if you're cold, you get a debuff, and it's cold at night. So the min-maxer just trying to like maximize his gains is gonna sleep through the night in a bedroll so he can be warm in the morning. And so like even the most min-maxy doesn't care about role-playing character would play Ashfall and then accidentally have fun.
I like that. I've designed my mode so that you can accidentally have fun. But yes, yeah, I totally get that. Let me catch up with the chat a little bit. What did I have? Danina agreeing. I agree with you. It's accomplished brilliantly. Ashfall. I'm like, you know what? From the beginning, I knew that Ashfall was amazing. Like even Frostwind loved it. Recently, Abbott is playing Ashfall, and I don't think I know any other modder and obviously player that was so attached to necessities of Morrowind that even Ashfall was not quite a contender, and now it is Ashfall. So that's how you know you've made a mod that appeals to maybe not everyone, but nearly everyone.
Yeah, I was so excited when I saw him playing Ashfall in his mod and his stream. Sorry, because yeah, he's been streaming for a long time and he wasn't playing Ashfall for so long. I'm pretty sure your Foods of Tamriel was what
but he's not. I think he's and I mean he's quite right, because there's a number of features from necessities of Morrowind. There's getting drunk that Ashfall still doesn't have. There is the oven, obviously. There's also some stamina mechanics that are not in Ashfall, and I know you don't really like when you're out of stamina, you just collapse to your knee. So I know that will never be in Ashfall, but Abbott is making his own hybrid of the two, because there's still a number of features from Necessities of Morrowind that he wants to have. But eventually.
I'm not completely opposed to that stamina mechanic. I wouldn't put it in Ashfall, but I wouldn't be against making a standalone mod for it. One thing I really want to make is a mod that makes being over encumbered make you have to walk slowly rather than just stuck in place. Because that's one, annoying Morrowind mechanic which gets in the way of Ashfall so much, because when you're too hot you get a strength debuff, and that doesn't sound so bad until you're someone like Abbott. I think it was Abbott complaining in a stream the other day where he keeps his he's got no encumbrance left, and then he gets too hot and he's like, oh well, I'm stuck now. That's one mod I really want to make as a standalone, I think, because I think a lot of people would enjoy that. So just scale it so the more stuff you carry, the slower you go. But if you go over, you're not going to suddenly stop moving.
That is actually one of the things that Skyrim did better than Morrowind. And it should have something better, because made 10 years later, when you're overburdened, you just have to walk very slowly. But you're not just stuck can't walk. Walk slowly would be far superior. We can make that. Okay, good. Good. Brilliant. So I know what is the next mod coming up. That would be really good. Especially when you're hot. It happens, I would start fighting somewhere in the Molagamore region, and I'm fine, but in the middle of the fight, finally the temperature mechanic kicks in, so I'm too hot, and I find that I can't move anymore in the fight, and then of course I get hit on the head, and my strength is further reduced, and then I die.
Yeah, and the worst feedback loop is when you're standing over lava and it makes you too hot to move away from the lava. So you're just stuck getting
Just
hotter and hotter until you
burn.
die.
Just burn. Uh, like if someone created a dungeon mod with a bunch of room containing a lava, yes, who would do that, Prof? Who would be so cruel as to do that? Let me go. Oh no, that's not what I want. I need to scroll up the chat because I think we've missed quite a few things. Skyrim is not an RPG, but a hybrid FPS with simplified RPG mechanic. I think we can all agree on that, Jolly Gamer. But then again, they made a game that appeals to the public, I guess. And we're too old. Ashfall is what made me want to start making mods. Ooh, that's a very nice compliment for you, Merlord.
That is very good to hear.
It's been on my Steam for years, along with Oblivion, but that's because I'm a Morrowind mod addict. That's perfectly fine, Icro. You do not need to play Oblivion and Skyrim. Just keep playing Morrowind. One doesn't exclude the other, but if you have to play just one, let it be Morrowind. Morrowind, some skills are less useful than others, but pretty much every type of build is reliably fun. In Skyrim, it's nearly impossible. Yeah, that's what you were saying with the stealth archer. I mean, isn't that a meme? I don't know memes, but that should be a meme if it's not one.
The stealth archer is definitely a meme, and it's, to me, the perfect example of where mechanics and role-playing don't mix. Like, it's perfect example of what happens when you don't make your mechanics serve the role-playing purpose of your game.
You know what? That makes me think of Morrowind Rebirth, that has great merits as a mod and a few issues depending on how you like to play. But a lot of the gameplay mechanics are made from a purely logical point of view. Like, this guy is an armorer. Why is he selling and buying weapons? He's not a weaponsmith, he's an armor smith. So, boom, he's only going to deal with armor. It's perfectly logical, but it just doesn't work, at least for me. So to be able, that's what you were saying, to be able to take into account the gameplay mechanics, what people tend to do, what is fun, what is going to be challenging, what is going to be tedious, all of that is very hard to do, and you manage to balance it all in Ashfall.
Yeah, the rebirth thing, stuff like making a shopkeeper only sell one kind of item. I mean, that's something I would consider, because you could imagine it encouraging behavior like making you have to shop around, going around to different shops, which could make sense. But in practice, there's not enough shops in Balmora to make that worthwhile, and the whole shopping experience in Morrowind isn't exactly fun, you know? That's the other thing. You don't encourage immersive behavior if it's not fun behavior. It needs to have some element of actually enjoy doing this, you know? And that was why I focused so much on making camping mechanics actually interactive and visually interesting, because if I'm going to make you have to camp out every night, it needs to be something that's enjoyable over and over again, you know?
And there's nothing more enjoyable than watching your tea kettle getting more smoke and whistling louder and louder.
Exactly. It's a real, like, visual reward, you know?
I wait for it. Like, I want to see that.
Yeah. It's something I really didn't like about New Vegas's survival mechanics, because to cook a meal in New Vegas, you walk up to a campfire, which is just a preset number of campfires placed in areas in the game, and you click on it and you get a menu with 200 recipes and they're all grayed out, and you have to scroll down and see, do I have the ingredients for any of these recipes? I don't want to be scrolling through a menu when cooking something. That's not, it's not a cooking experience.
Speaking of cooking, like originally with Ashfall, you went like selecting the meat, one meat, another meat, another meat, and then vegetables. Are you thinking maybe of overhauling so you can simply click on your ingredients in your inventory?
I did consider being able to like actually dragging and dropping ingredients into a cooking pot.
Oh my god, that would be amazing.
I decided
But-
against it. I can't remember why. I mean, it could still work. It'd be an interesting idea. But
List of
one thing I'm
features.
definitely, one change I'm working on is making it so that you can select more than one ingredient at a time in the menu when adding ingredients to a stew. Because someone did point out recently that it's to create a stew that's got full water and all the ingredients takes like 20 clicks, which is too much.
It does, yeah. That's why I think about it as we're talking about how it can get tedious. It does. If you want to make a the best stew ever, it does take a while. So maybe a button of choosing one or max could be good. Could be good. The tea might be easier because there's a limited amount of ingredients.
Yeah, although dragging it onto the teapot wouldn't really.
Yeah.
Doesn't really make sense.
Oh, okay. Well,
Null has a good point. Putting ingredients in the pot is kind of might be tricky to do. It's tricky enough sticking it on the bloody grill because the grill has gaps in it, and I still
never do it right. Like I end up throwing the meat
that's-
on the fire.
That's because you have all these different cursor replacers that
Yes.
change where the actual point is on the cursor.
Yeah, that's my bad. Which is why I've never come to you and say, Merlord, your grill is broken. That's me. I did that. Totally did that.
Yeah.
All right, I need to try and catch up with the chat because we just keep on talking. Start modding again. We were talking about Skyrim. Make a mod so that you can walk very slowly when you're overburdened. Love that. Like I would be too harsh if when you're overburdened you can't draw your weapon. Maybe that's a little too hard.
One idea that I had just now is that when you're overburdened, any action that takes stamina takes a lot of stamina. So running would suddenly drain your stamina like crazy fast. Attacking would drain your stamina crazy fast. So that would, I think that would help balance it out a bit.
That's exactly what happens with 4NM that I have installed right now. Like, which is why I'm running around with all the feather enchantments that I can find, and I don't want to be overburdened. From the moment I'm 50% overburdened, I can run 3 seconds before being exhausted. And if I'm completely overburdened, I'm walking, like not completely overburdened, but almost overburdened. I'm walking ever so slowly. That's a little too punishing for most players, I think.
Yeah,
But
4NM has really good ideas, just maybe implemented a bit aggressively.
Yes. But then some things are really, really good and unique. I absolutely love, for example, how the magic resistances are calculated. When you have 100%, basically you need to have 200% resistance to be fully immune. And if you go beyond that, then if you have fire resistance, 250%, then fire is going to heal you, which is something that we had in Final Fantasy. And I absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's a cool mechanic.
It's very cool. There's a lot of very, very cool things in there. All right. Walk very slowly. We were talking about that. I've always wanted a hotkey mechanic for encumbrance that before a battle you just drop everything. I can imagine the situation. You see the enemy and you just drop your bag. Like I could get that.
There's a game that does that actually. Outward had that as one of the main mechanics that they advertised, where all of your inventory is tied to your backpack, but your backpack makes you really crap at combat. So when you get into a fight, you drop your bag and then get into a fight, and then you have to go find your bag again at the end.
Which on paper sounds good. In practice,
I was just about to say, in paper sounds good. In practice, is actually not that. I mean, where's the immersion there? You drop a bag, you pick it up. There's no real benefit in terms of encouraging immersive behavior or anything fun. And that was what I found with most of Outward's mechanics. I actually got a refund on that game because I played it for an hour and I died in the tutorial level.
Crap.
And I died because it was teaching me how to use a tent. And it gave me a tent, and I put down my tent, and I slept in my tent, and I died because apparently it got cold while I was sleeping, and I just died.
You didn't wake up.
Yeah, surely I think you'd wake up if you start getting chilly in your tent. And I'm like, no, this game which has advertised itself as super, survival, immersive, just did not get it. Did not understand the point of these mechanics.
So yeah, again, that brings us back to how difficult it is to have something realistic, balanced, and fun. That would be...
Yeah, absolutely. You can have mechanics that on paper sound very similar, but the slight differences in implementation can completely ruin it.
All right, catching up with the chat. I love that perfect placement works with Ashfall. That is really good. Maybe you could create a grill that has less space in between. No, really, I need to stop modding my game so much that I can't really see where the cursor is. I think that's mostly me. I do have
You finally
Outward.
arrived.
Hey, hello, welcome on in. You can play slots. I don't think we've played slot today yet. Go make a fortune with slots. Fliggity Loot Sack. That was an old MWSE mod. I'm sure you could get a Lua rewrite, which would allow you, like most of the bags we have, well, pretty much like the Ashfall backpack, gives you a feather enchantment, which lets you carry more. I guess maybe having an extra bag, like a loot bag, that you actually have over your shoulder, and it lets you go over, not a feather effect, but it lets you go over your encumbrance. However, because you're carrying like that, you can't fight. So if you choose to have that bag that lets you go over your encumbrance, then indeed, if you have it in your hand, you have to drop it to fight. Maybe then that would be more doable and more fun. All the mod ideas we've got for you. I hope you're glad you joined.
Yeah, if I could design an inventory system for Morrowind, what I would do is have, if I wanted to be really, realistic, I don't know how fun it would be, but I'd like to try have it so you've got a main weapon slot, a side weapon slot, one armor piece slot. Like you can wear armor, and then you have a few quick key slots, which would be items on your belt, and it'd be cool to have it actually show up on your person as well. So everything you're holding and on your quick keys is displayed on the character model, and then everything else, the rest of your inventory, has to be in a backpack that you've purchased. So when you start the game, you cannot carry anything except just those few slots that you've got. And then you have to go purchase a pack, and then when you equip the pack, then you've got some more inventory space.
I really, really love the idea of more quick slots, like on the UI. I know obviously we do have those, and you see how I'm not using them. I don't think about using them. That's pathetic, I know. But if they were somewhere in my UI, I think I would use them a lot more. So even if it's only the 9 quick slots we have with Morrowind, to have a UI element somewhere, anywhere, would be great. And I like the idea of additional bags, really.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
one thing that the idea of having like dedicated weapon slots and everything would help with would be, I think it would help with the economy of the game. Because one thing in Morrowind, you can pick up so many weapons and so many pieces of armor that in real life you'd be, how could you carry all that stuff? So actually being like, a sword is a big friggin' thing, and you can tie it to your belt and that's fine, but any more than 1 or 2 swords and you're going to start having trouble,
For sure.
So yeah, making it so that you can only carry a certain amount of equipment would help with the whole loot economy of the game as well.
But if you look at people playing Morrowind, Like my inventory is tiny because with 4NM, you just don't have the choice. But most people, they have like their inventory. You can expand the window as much as you want, and you're still not showing everything they're carrying. It's crazy. So
Yeah.
I don't know that if suddenly they have some serious restrictions as to how much they can carry other than, you know, the encumbrance that is a vanilla mechanic, I think a lot of people would just go nuts. They can't do it.
Yeah, well, honestly, seeing your inventory right now makes me think that 4NM has got the right idea. Because it's so hard to make the player not hoard everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Ex-Magister has managed to do it somehow, so he must be doing something right.
I keep saying it, like I can't speak for the code because, as you know, I kill code with commas and brackets and whatnots. But in terms of the rebalance and the mechanics and the features and how they all mesh together, it's super impressive. So from a player's point of view, I'm very impressed with it. I'm not super keen on the combat. It's just too much. However, it's so dark. I can't see where I am. It takes advantage of the vanilla things. You know that, you know, we have the different attacks. Slash, when you're moving sideways, you do a slash attack, and you're moving forwards, you do a thrust attack. And when you're standing, it's a chop attack. And one thing that I didn't know, I can go forward to do a forward attack, but I can immediately move to the left and the right as well. And so with 4NM and 4NM combat in particular, you can go forward to do a thrust attack, but then also move to the side to get a bonus to your dodge. I'm just not good enough of a gamer to take advantage of that. So for me, I just move around in a random fashion thinking, hey, I just know, oh no, who's killing you? A cliff racer, obviously. I just know that standing is bad, so I just don't stand. So it's a little too advanced for me, but for people who love Dark Souls and people who love working out the best way to make the most of a skill or some equipment or some perks, it's just amazing. It's a little too much for me. I'm too much of a casual player. But it's worth looking at as a mod. It's worth that's why I'm playing it. It's not what I have for my permadeath install because it's just no way. But I enjoy using it. You know, every other game.
Yeah, I find a lot of combat mods I don't really like because a lot of them use like combos and stuff like that, and you have to learn specific combos to do more damage.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's not really, I don't know. It feels a bit gamey, you know.
Yeah, I've got it.
But
okay.
All right, I'll let you try and survive this cliff racer, and then I'll continue.
If only Geob did what it's supposed to. Oh, he did. Okay, good. We're good. We're
All
good.
right.
We're safe.
You got him. But yeah, do you remember the combat mod that I was working on?
Yeah, remember you were talking
while
about
ago.
it, and like
Yeah.
the fact you added pierce and slash and blunt.
Yeah, so the basic idea of that mod was that each weapon type and attack type combination would result in a certain percentage of blunt damage, pierce damage, or slash damage. And each of those damage types would be effective against a different kind of armor. So blunt would be good against heavy armor because it's like crushing.
Mm-hmm.
Piercing would be good against light armor, and slashing would be good against unarmored or something like that. And then to make it so that the armor actually counts, I made it so that where you're pointing when you're attacking, if you point at their wrist, then it'll be their gauntlets that absorb the damage, and
Mm-hmm.
the type of armor you've got on your gauntlets will be the thing that interacts with the damage type. And so, and I made a little UI thing where you could see as you're attacking, it would highlight which part of the body you're looking at.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in combat, you're kind of dancing around and you're trying to aim for weak spots, you know? Like, oh, his head he's not wearing a helmet, so I'll aim for the head.
You
Or
would sort
oh,
of jump slash.
Yeah. Yeah, you could jump and then attack. Yeah, or his chest is like a breastplate, so I'll try and do a overhead attack with my mace or something. And yeah, and the other mechanic I added was when you pull back your swing, time slows down a little bit so that you can aim, because real-time fighting in Morrowind is just so quick you could never aim. So I managed to get like a sort of slow time mechanic going on as well.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a really cool mod. And then I lost all the code because I installed Morrowind with the Good Old Games installer, and I accidentally selected the same directory as my existing Morrowind install. And the first thing that the GOG installer does is clear the directory it's about to install to. So even though I cancelled right away and realized my mistake, everything was
Too
gone.
late. It was too late. Oh, that is that would be a cool mod. When you talk about the combos, I've been using until quite recently the very old Combat Enhanced. That requires a third-party program, Morrowind Enhanced, and it has the combos, and I really liked it because, say with a sword, I forgot, but you would have to do a slash thrust attack, and obviously when trying to do those combos, I wouldn't deal as much damage as if I was just standing there and, you know, spamming, but it made me think about how I was fighting. A little bit in the same way that you were saying you would look at your enemy and go, oh, that's heavy armor, I'd better switch to that weapon, or that's a helmet, I should try to aim high, and that sort of thing. So yes, you would have to, and also you would have to learn and memorize the combos, which is together with your character, you would learn how to make the most of your skill. So I really like that, even though combos can feel a bit gamey, that's true.
Yeah, I definitely get that. It's the whole idea of you learning along with your character on how to fight.
Yeah, I really like that. So that combat mod, hey, 2090.
Yeah, one day
A
I'll remake it.
visitor. What brings you to
I'm sure
visit?
it's a matter of one day you'll be playing and you'll go, yeah, I really miss having that, and you're gonna be completely motivated, and you'll make that mod in I don't know, a week, a month, or 48 hours, whatever time it takes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. It was Vondermeer. Welcome on in. That would be very cool. I was using, what is the next gen combat? Have you tried this one?
I haven't tried it yet. It looked very large and with a lot of changes. So I'm always, despite making one of the biggest mechanic changing mods out there, I'm always a little bit hesitant to install gigantic mods like that.
I've used it quite a bit, and the armor perk, I didn't really remember that. But the idea is when you're fighting with a short blade, based on your skill, there's a percentage chance that you're going to inflict extra damage or extra effect with weapons. But all of that happens automatically. So it's nice. I especially liked when I do an attack with a blunt and for a second I stun my enemy. That's very enjoyable, and that makes me want to use blunt weapon. The others, I just do more damage, and it's not like I did anything to make that happen. So it's good, but it doesn't give you the chance as a player to make things happen like you were describing with your mod.
Yeah.
But it's nice. But then again,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not gonna make like, oh, with that enemy I definitely should try to inflict bleeding damage, I'm gonna switch to my axe. You just use your weapon. Sorry, I interrupted you.
yeah, no, you're right, and that's what I liked about the way I was doing the different damage types, is that, you know, if you're fighting a creature, creatures are unarmored, so you'd be really good with slashing weapons. But then you'd come across a heavily armored NPC, and your slashing weapon isn't going to do much anymore, so you'd have to switch out to, you know, your hammer or something. So you'd need a little bit of a loadout of different weapons, and it would be more situational. So yeah, just add a bit more strategy to combat.
Yeah, I like that very much, especially with any of my characters. Like many classes, they have no, not you. Sorry, Jill. many classes that they would have a couple of weapons across their major and minor skills. And I always felt that was the point. I'm just going to use one and get really good with that and then find the best sword and that will be it. Like there is zero incentive to say, hey, I should practice with my axe as well, because who knows. So the different types of damage that you were describing would be really an incentive, a good reason to say, hey,
Yeah.
I prefer my sword, but I'm a smart warrior and I know that it's just not going to do anything against that character or that NPC, and I should switch to my mace, for example. Or just continue to absorb health on everything. Mages are OP. But can't you, isn't that a resist magicka? Absorb health. Or reflect would not work very well either. But mages are OP, that's very true. I don't think you've tackled any sort of a magic related mod, Merlord. Is it because you're not inspired or you're happy with the way things are?
I was working on a spell framework mod until a guy called Operator Jack came along and did it like 10 times better than I could have ever imagined. So he has become king of the magic MWSE world, and I just let him do his stuff.
Good, good. It's true, you're not the sort of a proud modder that says, no, I want to make that mod. Somebody makes it and it's good, you're like, cool.
Yeah.
One
Well,
less
that happened
mod to
today,
make.
Yeah. Yesterday I was testing Bardic Inspiration, and I was in Saran, and I walked up into the waterfront, and I'm like, man, I would really love to cast out a line and do some fishing right now. And I thought, okay, I'm going to make a fishing mod, and I thought out how I was going to do it. And then someone in MMC today was like, I'm totally working on a fishing mod, and I'm like, cool, awesome, do it. Just make sure it's really good, because if your mod isn't very good, I'm going to make it my own version.
Like, I mean, there's Abbott's Water Life. Fishing Academy is much older. Yeah, Razor Plume made a fishing mod.
I want to try out Razor Plume's one.
Yeah, because you've
But
always
no one's done
recommended
one
his
in-
stuff.
Yeah, I have. I haven't actually played many of his mods because they're all non-MWC ones. But yeah, I just feel like fishing mod is something that to do really well, you'd want to use MWC, and no one has done that
I don't
yet.
have it here. Yeah, especially, I mean, this is not my big install, but my permadeath install, when you look at my other skills, like I need to expand the window this much because I have so many other skills, and I love that. I love that with a character, the one we're doing right now is a pirate, and her goal is to master a trade, and we decided it would be performing. Like we want to go to the inns and sing sea shanties. And so to be able to say, hey, I want to become a master at making armor, smith, whatever, like all those extra skills, they really add a layer to the game where the goal is not to go and kill Dagoth or to get to level 100 or get super rich. Like it adds layers to the game, and that's brilliant. We'll be playing this game for another 20 years.
I just want to
Yeah,
answer
go ahead.
Soccer Cat's question.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite games outside of Morrowind, or what games have inspired your mods in some way? I almost was not a Morrowind modder because years before I ever touched Morrowind, I planned on becoming a Minecraft modder. Because when I was playing Minecraft, the one thing I really wanted to be able to do was be sort of play the game as like a wanderer and not settle down anywhere. But one thing Minecraft was missing was campfires. So my first ever mod idea was basically a campfire mod, because I wanted to add campfires to Minecraft that you could cook your food. Because it always annoyed me, you cooked food in your furnace. That's, a
And
bit silly.
there's a little bit of gold, there in your pork chop. It's gold pork chop.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't do it because back then I hadn't coded before, and programming seemed so daunting that I didn't think I would be able to do it.
Java,
But then I
right?
became a
JavaScript?
programmer. Yeah, it's Java. Yeah, JavaScript is different.
Yeah, I know. I keep
Java.
mixing the two. Don't tell Alan.
Yeah, and then I became a programmer and went, oh, actually, this isn't too hard. And by then I was playing Morrowind, so luckily I ended up making that mod in Morrowind. But if I had been a little bit more bold, I could have ended up being a Minecraft modder, and Ashfall would have been a Minecraft mod. And then, of course, years later they added campfires to Minecraft, so I got my wish anyway. But yeah, so Minecraft is a huge inspiration for me because Mojang were always very, very careful in designing their mechanics to work together and to encourage certain
A
behavior
visitor.
and to be
What
immersive.
brings you
I
to
think their
visit?
hunger mechanic is really, it's really clever. The hunger mechanic in Minecraft, where you have natural health regeneration, but only when your hunger bar is full.
Great. I'm sure you'll
And
fit
then
right in.
when you get hurt, that health regeneration makes your hunger bar drain quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And that is such a what do you call it? It's just a nice mechanic. It just works so well.
It's quite simple as well. It's quite simple as well.
Simple, yeah. It's very simple. It means that when you're not out getting hurt all the time, your hunger doesn't drain very quickly. It drains quickly if you sprint. So you can always avoid having to eat all the time by not sprinting and not getting into fights. So it has that philosophy of not making needs mechanics get in the way all the time, you know. But when you do sprint everywhere and when you do get into combat, it integrates with that so well that it's never annoying. I've never been annoyed with eating in Minecraft.
Yeah, I do enjoy Minecraft as well. It's one of the games that I come back to every once in a while and see what's new, and then install lots of mods. And then when I'm happy with my mod list, I go, okay, I'm good. That's it. That's pretty much it.
I've hardly ever played modded Minecraft.
You mentioned, what was the
one mod I played is Terra Firmacraft.
That one.
And I loved that mod. That's very that's so cool because like to create a weapon, you start in the Stone Age basically, and you have to go find some clay and then create a little put a hole in the ground and create like a clay pot and put it in the ground and fill it up with wood and then light it to fire up your clay, and then you get a clay pot and then you can put items in it. It's just such a cool, it's a very hardcore kind of realistic survival experience, which I really liked.
It is very hardcore. I get it. It might be I did play it after you recommended it. I was like, yeah, that's sort of up my alley, and for me, that's as hardcore as it can get. Beyond that, I thought it was tedious. Gee, no.
Yeah. Well, Terra Firmacraft. Oh no, is he alive?
That's because of 4NM. Because Jube is overburdened. Like, he's not completely overburdened, but he's almost overburdened, so he's got a massive drain on his stamina, and after a while, he collapses. He'll be fine, okay? Don't panic, he'll be good.
Yeah. With Terra Firmacraft, the crafting, or the going through the tiers of Stone Age to Iron Age kind of thing, and the survival, that was the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very different experience to something like Ashfall, which is it's a companion to the main game, which is your questing and being an adventurer.
Mm-hmm.
So very different kind of philosophy behind the mechanics. With a mod like Terra Firmacraft, it is your focus is on survival.
That's what it is.
And you can't care about anything else because you're constantly working on the next thing in that survival path.
Yeah, nights were very long and very scary.
Yes, absolutely.
Whereas in Minecraft Vanilla, it's like that first night, like if I haven't found enough to survive, I am gonna build a tower of dirt and stand on it all night long waiting for the sun to come back. But that's the first night. Whereas with that mod, every night was scary, which was really, really good.
Even building the most basic small base takes forever. Because, I remember I tried building just a little tiny room to hide from enemies in. But I think I was building it out of straw or something, and the straw would like collapse because it's got like gravity as well.
Little bit of wind also, I hear. I write it down. Vintage story. I think I've seen that. I might have it wishlisted, or maybe in one of the bundles. Quix is saying that vintage story is basically Terra Firma Craft made into a game.
Definitely gonna look that up.
That might be worth checking. A lot of modern Minecraft is more factorial than survival game, in the way that they add hundreds of recipes and things. I don't like too many mods. I mean, now we have the recipe book, which is cool, but I like to be able to work things out without having to open up the wiki. Wiped out Skooma again. No, that's not what happened. I mean, yes, we know Geob is a Skooma addict, and I have not given him any, but, you know, he'll do anything to get his hands on it. So that might be what happened here. Official story is overburdened, okay? It's very Minecraft themed, but more into survival and looks a bit better. Okay, that sounds really good. I'm gonna have a look. Definitely. A lot of popular mods add machine and energy, yes, which I guess appeals to people who are engineers or, you know, have a mind that appreciates working out circuits and everything. Me, I'm happy having the double doors without having to do a complicated redstone thingy to have my 2 doors open at once. But that's me. Automate all the things. I like those, but not too complicated. Right. Did we skip a lot of questions? I'm sorry, we're talking and talking. Have you played Better Than Wolves for Minecraft, Merlord?
No, I haven't heard of that one.
No. I didn't play it either. Though I remember it added a whole, like, it was adding progress and mechanics like that. But I haven't played it myself personally. Okay, well, excellent. Progress in Morrowind, none. I'm in the dark and I don't know what's happening. But a lot of talking, that's very cool. Crap, I had a question and I forgot. Chat, now, silly questions for Merlord while I try to remember my question. It might have been equally silly, not sure. Sogcat, I remember a long time ago I tried a Minecraft mod setup called Blightcraft or Blightfall or something. Really? There was a Minecraft Comes Alive actually, which I did use for a while. But yeah, Minecraft is one of those mods that I come back to. Other games that you come back to or you're curious to try, Merlord?
Games that I come back to. No, not. I mean, yeah, basically, Morrowind is the only one I always come back to.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yeah. The other game that I play a lot is Noita, which is that 2D roguelike. It's a 2D roguelike game where you play as like a wizard going down like a typical dungeon. But what's really cool about Noita is the per pixel physics simulation, which just blows me away how that works. So it's all pixel art, and every single pixel is fully simulated. So if you've got like a wooden platform and you put a torch to it, the fire will spread along the wood, and it's got all these different interactive effects between different materials, and poison water will create green smoke which can light on fire, and then that creates black smoke. It's really incredible, and it's a really fun roguelike game. Very brutal. 99% of my playthroughs I don't get past the first area because it's very heavy on RNG and it's very easy to die, but there's so much to explore, so many secrets. It's just such a fun, and when you finally get to that next area for the first time, you'll die instantly, but it's so exciting because you just see what you've got in store for you the next time you make it there,
Yeah, but that feeling of having achieved something is so important.
Yeah, and the game is fun enough where you don't mind doing the same level hundreds of times and getting your ass kicked, because the combat is really fun.
Is it at all similar to, and now I can't remember the name, oh crap, Spelunky? I'm just looking at the screenshots and it reminds me, it makes me think of it.
Spelunky, that was more of a puzzle kind of game, wasn't it?
I mean, it's
I
mostly,
played it once.
it's mostly platformer as far as I can
Yeah,
tell.
this is more, it's very combat oriented. And the best thing about Noita is the wand mechanics. So
The wand.
has each wand that you pick up has randomized stats. So it can have different rates of fire, different spell slots, all this kind of thing. And then you find different spells that you can put into the spell slots, and then they combine to create unique effects. And finding that combination of spell effects that creates an unbeatable wand is such a cool feeling. Like, it took me, I think I was 150 hours into playing this when I discovered that the Bubble Spark spell, which I always thought was such a lame spell effect, it's this little blue bubble that pops out and does 10 damage and then disappears. It's too slow to hit anything. I thought, oh, this is lame. But one day I got a wand that has a homing effect, and I used it with a bubble spark, and suddenly I shoot, and these bubble sparks fly out of my wand and aim towards the nearest enemy. And these bubble sparks do environmental damage as well. So if there's an enemy on the other side of a wall, these things will just plow through the wall and get him anyway. So they become this like homing death machine just with this little combination.
Nice.
And so then, you learn all these little, like, okay, I should hold on to a couple of bubble sparks in my inventory just in case I get a homing thing. So yeah, over many hundreds of hours, you learn little tricks and techniques to increase your odds of the RNG being favorable.
Which is so important, like the feeling of progressing, not just, I mean, especially with roguelite, it's mostly on the player, but a lot of the games, it's your character getting stronger, but you don't learn with your character.
Yeah, and Noita is a true roguelike in that sense, in that there is a lot of like roguelike games give you something, you can carry over a little bit of something, unlock things as you play. With Noita, every time you play, you are as weak and same as the first time you ever played it. The only thing that improves is your skill. It's the only thing that gets you further the next time you play it.
I don't mind having a little extra, just a little bit, but that's because I'm not actually good at playing. Like, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not a purist. I'm not one of those like it has to be pure roguelike or I'm not going to play it. I like roguelite games as well, but I'm just really impressed that Noita manages to actually stick true to the whole every game is identical in terms of you don't get anything more, and still manage to be really fun to play every time you play it.
Okay. Quite a few games recommendation we're getting. Neb, hello, lovely to see you. I hope you're doing great. There was a question, I remember there was a question about favorite mods. Merlord, excluding your own mods. I mean, you're supposed to like your mods, because a lot of modders say, oh no, I don't like my mod, which is sad. But excluding your own mods, are there mods that you wouldn't play without?
I think my favorite mod that I didn't make myself is the mod called Something's Not Right.
It's a lovely little mod.
It's so, I don't know why I like it so much, because it's message boxes, Usually
it's
I'm
super
like,
simple.
Message boxes, come on, that's not immersive. But no, there's something just so nice about it, where you walk in, and his recent update of this mod, where he added more specific ones, like in caves and different interior places, he's got unique messages there as well. Yeah, so just to explain what it is, Something's Not Right is a mod that adds little immersive message boxes as you approach caves and dungeons and stuff. So yeah, you can see there, like, the wind suddenly turned foul. And yeah, I don't know why I love it so much, but I really do.
I agree. It's a nice one. It's for me, it's similar in a way to having companions, adding elements of unexpected, because based on the message, I go, oh, it must be, this must have happened, or this could happen. So it adds to the story without me having to add to the story, I guess. So
I
it's
think
very
part
nice.
of it's reminiscent of old text-based games, you know, where like you go north and then it has a little like you are in a room and there's water dripping from the ceiling, you know, where you get that atmosphere explained to you in text. So I think it's reminiscent of that, which
I didn't think of that, but you're right. There's definitely it's a bit like the GM is whispering in your ear.
exactly. And the fact that it doesn't change anything about gameplay is nice too, because you don't have to worry about it. You install it, it's there. It's not gonna. You don't have to learn anything about it. It's pure addition to the game. All upsides, no downsides.
Really immersion, truly immersive mode.
Immersive in the true sense of the word. Yep.
And bug free because it's so simple as well.
Yeah.
Text-based rewrite of Morrowind when reject open Morrowind, reject Unity, embrace this.
You finally arrived.
Hex Phoenix 9, welcome on in. I mean, you're joking about a text-based Morrowind, but I think I would play that. That would be quite fun. Maybe with no, that could be fun. Who else would play a text-based Morrowind? Or is that just too retro? Like even if you like them, 30 years ago, now you've grown accustomed to some pixels.
You can play a text-based Morrowind. There's that AI-based game generator where you give it a bunch of information, and then it generates like an RPG game for you using the words that you used.
Okay.
And so I've actually done that. You can feed it a bunch of Morrowind-themed words, and then it's like it'll start the game, and it's like you are a warrior who has just landed in Seydanine. What do you do? And then you like go north, and it's like you encounter a scrib. It works. It surprisingly works quite well.
And so how did you do that?
Let me see if I can look up what the name of this was.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely. I don't know that I would play it for hours and hours, but
No, it's a little bit gimmicky and a little bit buggy, but it's really fun when you first play it and you're like, oh crap! It's like it knows. It kind of feels like you're in Morrowind.
That's super cool. If you find it, I'd be curious to see it. Text-based ES sounds fun. Hey, Telesia.
Yeah, AI Dungeon. That's the one.
AI Dungeon. Telesia, you snuck in. I didn't. No, that's not what I want. Okay, but that's useful too. Anyone who wants to mod, you want that. No flicker, go away. But that's not what I wanted. You said AI Dungeon?
Yep, I just snuck the link past your auto moderator thing.
Well done, well done. This is how. Start tutorial. Okay. Well. And is it all automated? Like you feed it a bunch of data and then it does things, or can you edit it and improve it later on?
So it has preset dungeon types, but you can also give it your own set of keywords. I can't remember exactly how it works.
Well, anyone who's curious about it, try it, perfect it, and then share it. Just saying. Any way to incorporate that into a Morrowind mod, like again within the game?
I don't know, possibly.
It's like stop thinking about new mods. Stop it.
Stop trying to make me do new things. You could like talk to an NPC and start a game of Dungeons and Dragons with them.
I could totally see that. I really could see that. And then you just move the player into a cell that has a table and 4 chairs and NPCs sitting there. It could be so much fun. It could be so much fun. But anyway, I know you already have so much on your plate. Denina, you write stories. That's about as text-based Morrowind as I'm going to get. Yes, like you're way beyond that. You're way beyond that. Looking forward to reading those stories, by the way. Denina, do you mind if I And I'll have to prepare that, but I'll be ready to share some of it. You can edit, redo, revert turns if things go wrong, and introduce new information in the middle of a playthrough. Okay, so you've already tried it, Easy. I think it's worth exploring. I was unaware it was Thursday. It is. I know. Comes as a shock. Keeps coming back. Just challenge NPC at card game, dice, etc. That would be very nice. There was I was looking at Fligerty's mod the other day because of something I'm working on. Fligerty. And he had, at the time it was, that's where I should go. No, that's where I should go. At the time it was completely crazy. Featured modders. Fligerty. Oh, featured. That was years ago. But he's got this mini game, Raven Wings, and the equipping. So many mods from Fligerty were completely mind-blowing at the time, using the very early versions of the script extender. Like, he was the first one to make mods that shouldn't exist, basically. And so many of the mods really would deserve to be enhanced.
Yeah, I didn't know he used MWSE back then.
He was a big, I mean, he still exists, right? Yeah. But he's not modding anymore. So, sorry, if the past tense, the Gambler, that's the one. He's one of the people who contributed the most MWSE mods back in the days. So, with a shader, like, you've been working with shaders with Ashfall, right? And possibly with stinkers when that happens, and possibly with the immersive alcohol. But basically, you talk to this guy, and you could actually roll the die and see the result like that. It's super simple, but at the same time, it's just impossible.
Yeah, I can imagine how mind-blowing that would be after so many years of Morrowind script modding.
So he, like, so many, I can't close that anymore. Okay. So many of his mods are really cool, like Battle Cry I like, Blasphemous Revenant some people still use, Slave mod some people still use. There's many of them. I'll put the link for the younger generation who didn't know Flig's mods. They don't always play very nicely with the latest MWSE because they were created for a much older version, but still some really good things, I would say. Yeah, it was all Morrowind script pre-Lua. Oh, which one? Next generation Morrowind mod hooks NPC up to an AI dungeon connecting to handle having conversation with them. Yes, that's exactly what we want, Izzy. So, somebody make it. Luz, welcome back. Old MWSE mods still work. Yes, they do, Null. Not, like, some of them are not ideal, I know. Protective guards, we have newer, it's not so much that they don't work, it's just they're made obsolete by newer Lua versions. Handy equipping, that is made obsolete by Operator Jack's mod. Enhanced security, is it? Something like that. He occasionally posts an update about Morrowind modding history, but I haven't heard of him modding in a long time. I think it's right about when Skyrim came out. Planet Elder Scrolls shut down, Skyrim came out. But hey, yeah. So people who know Lua, just look at these mods and see if you get inspired. Not you, Merlord, you have many things to do. But if you want to, I mean...
Oh, they can always go on the list.
There's many very, very cool things. I don't see it right now. There was, I mean, something like Oblivion spellcasting at the time was like, oh. There was something with conjuration. To the Death, which is there's Avenge Your Death, which is a very older version of what happens after you die. I like that. Gravedigger was cool. Magicka Meta, that was cool as well. And I didn't get that one to work on a newer install. But essentially, using your Magicka, you can create soul gems. Enhanced detections, I mean, 10 years ago, Fligerty did it. 10 years later, Operator Jack did it better, with better tools, but it was there already.
Yeah, that's for 2011. That is super impressive.
But yeah, that was me gushing over mods that I love. As ever. Fligerty more or less left the community when he had his last child. He got super busy after that, and we haven't heard much from him ever since, which is sad for us, but really good for him and his family. So I wish Keyring wasn't so janky. It was a little janky. And then but then Greatness 7 made a container for keys. It's not automated like Keyring. You would get the key and it would go straight onto your Keyring. So instead of having all those keys in your inventory, they would just be your keyring. That was very cool. Very cool. So maybe for the old mod Redux event, that may be happening later. We'll see. I should say he had another child. I don't know if he and his wife have any since then. We don't know. But anyway, I understand. Family before Morrowind. Just before Morrowind. Just added the keys back to your inventory when you looked at the door, and if you saved while that was happening, you corrupted your save. You think Lua can do better? You think the new MWSC can do better? Take that as a challenge.
Well, you could just remove the keys every time you look at your inventory and then add them back the moment you close your inventory again, so you never get to see them.
Yeah. There's a possibility. So many options for modders. And my poor Geob is still out of it. It's not like I've done anything significant today with Geob, but we talked, so that's better, I guess. Yeah, that is definitely much better. Family before Morrowind, but I thought Morrowind was family. We're a quite close community. I don't know that we are family. I don't know that we should be family. As much as I love Morrowind and yay, Geob is back. Sorry, it's my brother, okay? It's family. But yeah, Morrowind is pretty important. Or just use the UR filter event to hide them from the player while keeping them in the inventory. I'm sure that makes sense to people who can code. So whoever is thinking of making a new keyring mod, okay, I'm gonna take Geob somewhere to safety. And I don't mean you, Merlord. Were you thinking, here we go again? I do not imply. You're not the only Lua Mensa we've got. Jeez. You're so self-centered sometimes. Where is cool? I can't find cool. It's dark. No, I'm kidding. Where? Seriously, I am in cool. Where am I? We're in cool. Okay, good. I want to find... Where are the lights? It has to be this way. I know this game, okay? I know it. Okay. Alright, is there any mods in the making that you're aware of and that you're looking forward to?
My own mods, you mean?
No, I mean, it could be, again, with being self-centered. No, yours or any, obviously.
Okay. Other mods I know. The one mod I'm really looking forward to is Innumeral's sound overhaul. Just having footstep sounds match the terrain you're walking on, that alone is just going to be amazing. And
no, I didn't know that was in the making. That is very cool. And it's one of those things that is so subtle.
Yeah, but it just makes such a difference just in your everyday walking around Morrowind, just having that sounds that aren't constantly exactly the same footstep sound over and over again. He's pretty far along with it, actually. He snuck off to that other Morrowind server that we don't talk about, and he's got an alpha version over there.
Okay.
But yeah, apparently he was working on some other stuff for a bit, but he's pretty close to releasing that. I'm really
That's very cool. Yeah, that's the sort of mod I'm sure. When you run it, there we go. That's what I wanted. When you run it, you go like, I needed that and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I didn't know about that. So alpha version on another Discord, you're saying? It's a bit of a mystery there. All right. Well, we'll have to wait for the release or the alpha being released elsewhere. MWSC Lua, maybe with a new function, can probably add a custom door opening sequence that checks the mod handle. Well, that's more hint for people making the keyring mod. So I'm gonna let you guys read that. I'd like the footstep terrain mod. That would be really, really cool, yes. Another mod that for me was like, hey, I didn't realize I needed that is it R-Zeros? In the water? Let me try and find it. Where essentially the deeper you are, does it have the word water in it? The deeper in the water, there we go, waiting in water. The deeper the water, the slower you go. And that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, there's an R0 one. That's pretty good. I haven't actually tried this one.
It's really, it's like you don't have it and you're perfectly fine, and then you play with it and go, oh, that feels so right. So like that's the way it should have been. So yeah.
Operator Jack has a mod that it just makes you move slightly slower when you're walking backwards.
Yeah, I didn't install that one. Is it realistic speed or something?
Oh, something like that. The only thing I don't like about that is that because it's the way it's slowing down the animation actually reduces the frame rate of the animation. So you actually kind of walk backwards a little bit. It's a little bit choppy.
That's a shame. I did not install it because I die so much already. Like I've removed any sort of exploit or nice thing about the engine. I was like, no, just let me run backwards and trying to jab my sword at my enemies while doing it. So I've kept that. I've kept my.
Well, it stops NPCs from running away from you while shooting you as well. So it can help.
Oh yes, archers are a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe you can install
maybe.
it, and maybe the MCM lets you enable it for NPCs.
It has an MCM menu as well?
Of course.
Well, not every Lua mod has one.
Yeah, but this is Operator Jack. He knows what he's doing.
You know, true. Okay, fine. I'll install it and try it. What's one more mod in my install? It's not going to make my game crash or anything like that. Good news, the Drake Pride mod, after a bunch of testing with the mod author, is fixed. Oh, brilliant! So you were in touch with Archimestra Antares? Nice, because it's a good looking armor. Not the recolored, the original one. Archimestra Antares for me is one of the gods of modding as well. It's good looking. Skyrim inspired, but good looking. The best way to do it, that I imagine, is to change nothing except for the UI side. So in a mod, like UI expansion, you just hide the keys from the inventory. I mean, I guess that would be possible to have even just a separate tabs for the keys, so you never look at it, for example, unless you're looking for a key.
Yeah. I mean, UI expansion, doesn't it...
It's that average modder coder that made it. I don't know if you heard about. Sorry, go ahead.
Some null guy, something.
Is that null for zero? Like, sorry, shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you could hide the keys. You could add a tab that just displays the keys if you wanted, as its own tab, which would be really cool.
That would be a simple solution to the key. It's not even an issue, but that would be a simple way to have your keys out of the way and not clutter your inventory so much.
I should create a separate tab for water bottles and food as well for Ashfall.
Yeah. Like,
they kind of get lost.
Cooked food. It would be nice. It would be nice to have one for just cooked food. I don't even remember. Once you have cooked your food, I mean, it has, I don't have it here, but it shows that it's cooked, but it's still meat, right?
It's the same item, yep. It's just got extra data attached to it.
Mm-hmm. It would be nice to have a separate tab for foods that has all the food items and the cooked meat and vegetables. That would be really handy. At the same time, okay, put it on the feature list, but it's not top priority.
It's not a top priority, yeah.
Not like the Mod Jam Trophy mod, for example.
Oh yeah, wow. I don't know. It's getting pretty late.
Yeah.
And the stream is in 10 in the morning for me. It's 10:30 at night already.
Oh, ouch. It was so hard to find a good time for the mod jam. So for me, it's 11 at night, which is when I normally go to bed. So I'm gonna be quite sleepy there.
Yeah.
But
I'll definitely try and get up early enough to be there for the start of it. But yeah, this treasure mod. I don't know. I've been really unmotivated to work on this treasure mod. I don't know why.
oh.
Even though it's like 99% done.
Yeah, like that's what I was gonna say, because you sent me like a year ago, was it? At least a year ago.
Yeah.
Like
Has it been that long?
an early release.
Have I been procrastinating finishing this mod for over a year?
Oh. Now, if sending you multiple PM saying, "Hey, what about the mod?" helps, I can do that. Okay.
Yeah. So that we're having a stream in the beginning of the mod jam, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's another stream at the end. Is that correct?
A week later, once the judging has been done. Yeah.
So technically, we could have that competition at the second stream.
No.
No. Because
No.
yeah,
It's tempting to say yes, because you just told me how you're procrastinating about it. But even if I tell you yes, we can postpone that, then you're gonna be procrastinating another week about it.
no, I'll do it. I just can't get it. Like it's bedtime for me, just about.
All right.
Because I have maximized my procrastinating. I'm sorry, I don't think I'll have the treasure mod because I had a look at it today.
No, that's
I finally
fine. That's
opened up
fine.
the code.
The original idea was that during the weekend, either people make mods or they don't make mods and they can play. But you know what? We can have the trophy mod released on Monday, so that people who have made a mod during the week can also play your mod during the weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing it because I want to give you more time. It's just because that way more people can enjoy it.
Exactly.
Good.
Because I had a look at the code and I realized the framework is done, but I haven't placed all the trophies. I have a config file with 2 trophies placed.
Yeah, that's going to limit the options. But then again, okay, all right, good. Trophy is postponed, so that you have time and you can sleep.
I promise on stream with 42 people watching. I will have it done by this weekend for people to play on Monday.
Good. I'm gonna bookmark that and play it on every Discord. But no, that's very cool. Yes, I did wanted to specify that second stream is on the 10th of April. It's Saturday during the day. Forgot the time. Maybe there isn't a time defined. And essentially, we're going to have the results, like which mods win the mod jam. There's the Player's Choice Award based on the Nexus metrics as well. There's going to be the result of the trophy competition that Merlord is definitely doing over the weekend. The result of the screenshot competition. And then talk with the mod authors, which is always cool. That's quite a lot planned already. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and look at the mods. Duh. That. Obviously. Ooh, looking forward to it. But first, there's the big stream tomorrow with the actual mod jam.
It's going to be exciting.
It is. Catching up with the chat. Another stream does a bit of permadeath survival, granted in Skyrim, but he did accidentally sell his water bottle to the store. Who did that? I missed that bit. Sorry, Murderclass, that was you? You're dark. I can't read your name. Maybe we do sub tabs for advanced filtering. Ooh. I don't know if that would be more convenient, actually. But then again,
No,
you're the modders.
I would say sub tabs is when you're low on space. It's the kind of thing Skyrim has to do because its UI is horrible and very inefficient space-wise. Look at all the space you've got there. Your search bar is gigantic. You could fit another 5 tabs on there, no problem.
Yeah, I think we could.
And if worst comes to worst, you could have another row of tabs.
I don't even exist. Yeah, like I don't think that subtabs would be best. But then again, I was gonna say, whichever way you make the mod, I'm gonna be happy that there is something. So
Yeah.
then it's a matter of like the modder has prerogative, right? If you as a modder feel that in that case subtabs is how you want to play the game, then you mod it that way, and then people like it, great. They don't like it, too bad, really. So yeah, haven't experienced or heard of that one. There's a mistake. What? Okay, you're discussing troubleshooting things. Cool. Poor Jew, poor me, broken again, hungry, thirsty. Look what you do to my characters, Merlord. You always make them weak. By the way,
Well, I'm not the one not feeding them.
fair enough. Very true. Look at this guy, Kolka the Wolf. You wanna guess? Actually, I can show you the dialogue. Oh, hello, Kolka. Do you have any idea? Especially looking, it's an early version, obviously, but especially looking at these. Kolka, lights on. Does that remind you of any mod?
Some sort of companion commanding, companion framework. That is
Oh,
not
companion
made
framework
yet.
would be too good. This is Morrowind script only. I'll give you guys a hint. Kolka is gonna get along famously with Paxson and Detra. That I don't have in this install. That is going to be the next companion, or that look at that poor Chiyub. Obviously he's collapsing. That is the next creature companion that Tizo is working on. Tizo? I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna go with Tizo. So now we'll have the choice between Paxson the Rat, Tetra the Guar, and Kolka the Wolf. So a new addition to the menagerie. Hungry, thirsty, and broken. That sums up my characters. And nearly dead. So we have it. All right, guys, this is your last chance to ask Merlord some questions because I'm getting terribly hungry, and I have PMs to send to people and judges to send me things, all that. Which familiars? A lot of them. No, and this is not a witch pet. This is a warrior's pet. I don't think I have any rat meat. Sit, Kolka, sit. I do. Good girl. That's such a good girl. Good girl. Girl. I want to play Morrowind in virtual reality so I can pet my my pets properly. I mean, this is like I'm trying to kill my own pet like that. I don't know. You feel haunted suddenly. Yes, Luce. Yeah. I don't want to put the pressure on you, Lucifer, but almost everybody has sent me their little blurb. Some of them recorded it. And it's very funny. Merlord, will you send me a little MP3?
Maybe.
Maybe. Sorry. I'm sorry, not sorry. This is important. This is important.
Where are these recordings going to go? On a video?
No. Tomorrow during the stream, I will either read what the judges say about the mod jam or play the recording, and then the chat can guess who is who.
See, everyone's heard my voice now.
Well, I mean, everyone, what, 40 people?
Yeah, 40 whole people. That's half the Morrowind community right there.
That's not true. That's fine. Like they'll, you know, some of them will know straight away, and that's fine.
All right, I'll give you a recording, but I'll put on a really thick Russian accent or something.
I love that. Brilliant. That works. No, it's not you. It's you and Lucifer. And not Merlord, because he's already sent me something. So you're the bad boys. You're the bad churches. And I do agree, Tizzle's companion mods are the best without using MWSE, because then I think that the Guar Whisperer is superior, but again, using superior tools. So should someone should judge these judges. Damn right. Damn right. I just look so good in this leather jacket. Does it have studs and things like that? I'm guessing. I don't know. All right. So no more questions from Merlord. Is that really all you wanted to know? Are you just too shy? Or you've run out of silly questions? That's also a possibility. Merlord, that's it. They're not interested in you anymore.
Oh well. Favorite silly New Zealand bird?
What, to eat?
The kakapo, probably. They're adorable.
But the kiwi is overshadowing all the other birds.
Yeah, the kiwi, yeah, they're awesome, but everyone knows a kiwi. Kakapos are way more mischievous. They're well known for tearing people's windscreen wipers apart on their cars because they like shiny things and ripping things apart.
That sounds like so much fun. Who is the best Morrowind waifu? All yours, Merlord.
Best Morrowind waifu. I don't know. I don't have one. I guess Anasi, because you can actually date Anasi.
Yeah, I mean, female Khajiits. I just want to purr at them.
Okay, best waifu is any of the body pillows for sure.
Yeah, they're like out of the competition. They're just too obvious as such. Yes, Merlord, I agree with Easy, and I'm sure everyone as well. Thank you so much for your mods. Thank you so much for being our overlord in the Morrowind modding community as well. It's not fun every day, for sure.
Well, thanks. It's yeah, I really like this community. It's really awesome. So
I like it
thank
too.
you all as well.
And thank
thanks
you
for having me today. It's been really fun.
It is, isn't it? I
hanging out on
told
this
you.
thing.
I told you.
I know.
I might invite you again after you've published a few mods
Okay.
worth discussing.
All right.
No, seriously, anytime. Absolutely anytime. Guys, I hope to see you tomorrow for the Mod Jam theme reveal live stream. That's a long title. Just come tomorrow, okay? Come say hello. It's a different time than usual. Check, as I said, on my Twitch schedule. It's there. In the Morrowind modding community, it's there. All showing in your local time as well as in my own Discord if you're there. I think that covers it all. I'll see you on Sunday for permadeath, unless you're making a mod, in which case you're excused. Get greatness 7. Yeah, I'll try, but again, you know, I'm pushy for so many things, so I need to choose what I'm pushy about, and right now I'm pushy about being a judge. So we'll see. But we'll see. Definitely, I want to have more people because it's fun. Until then, have a great time. Good luck with work, sleep, anything you're gonna do, and I'll see you tomorrow. We're gonna go and say hello to Meiji Wolf. He's doing some Skyrim permadeath, really modded and roleplay and everything. Have a good time, guys. Did I do that properly? No, give me a second. Yes, I can type. I can totally type. I'll see you very soon, guys. Let's go raid. Hop on the raid. Don't be shy. Bye, guys.